now, a team of doctors at the University of Miami is working on what could be groundbreaking therapy for treating some COVID-19 patients.
With a focus on those suffering with severe lung inflammation, they're using the umbilical system cells to treat patients. We first reported on this last week, and now we have a chance to get an update on how it's progressing. Dr. Camillo Ricordi leads an international team of scientists. He is a University of Miami professor and stem cell therapy researcher. We're so glad to have you on tonight. Thank you for joining us. And
Hi, good evening.
And this therapy is building off a 10-patient study in China, and the results of that study are limited. So what information gave you hope that this would work on a broad scale?
Well, the information from this initial study has been incredibly encouraging. The editor-in-chief of the journal that did the editorial on the paper presented commented as extraordinary results, but that need to be validated by larger clinical trials. So we're happy that FDA approved us to do such clinical trial at the University of Miami. And the nice thing is that we'll have the results in a very short time, because these cells is like injecting an army of cells, 200 million cells into doses that will be fighting the complication of the infection, and we'll know within weeks if there is a positive effect.
That's great to hear. Dr. Ricordi, how many patients are in the trial? When did you start, and have you seen any results so far?
We have 24 patients in these initial trials. We didn't start the first patient. There have been only patients done on compassionate release so far, and the initial results are coming from China and Israel, but we are ready to go. We have the first 6 doses already ready to be delivered, another 25 doses ready to follow. So we are covered as far as cell supply for the entire clinical trial, and we hope to have results very soon.
So for the layman like us, can you explain why the stem cells infused in a vein end up in a lung?
Yeah, actually, this is a nice feature, because when we do these trials, I direct the Diabetes Research Institute at the University of Miami. So traditionally, we did this trial for type 1 diabetes or for kidney disease. But in this case, when you inject the cells IV intravenously, the first filter is the lung. So naturally, these cells are trapped by the lung as much as 95%. So in the case of targeting the pancreas or the kidney, you have to do an interventional radiology procedure to put a catheter in the artery that goes to these organs. But when you target the lung, this is a natural way of delivery, and these cells form naturally to the lung. In addition, these cells sense inflammation and tissue injury, and home they go targeting specifically the site of tissue injury and inflammation. So in this case, it's even more relevant that a simple intravenous, like a blood transfusion, with exactly target the lung, that is the organ that we want to treat.
Yeah, because that's what's attacked by this dreadful virus. Now, based on the experience from your international collaborators and ongoing stem cell trials, how long do you expect to have to wait before you know if this is working?
Well, we know from the radiologic examination of the lungs from the studies in China, for example, that within days they see, like in this image, you see like from February 2nd to February 9, you have a resolution of the lung pathology. So you see the gray areas are the deep inflammation and deposits of fluid and inflammatory reaction, this great inflammatory reaction that you have in the lungs. And within days, you just completely resolve this kind of inflammation.
So, doctor, what is the typical recovery rate for COVID patients who have been put on a ventilator, and is that meant to treat patients before they get to that critical stage?
Well, the typical recovery rate that we expect with this treatment is within a week we should know. So this is not a trial that will require like months or years of follow-up to see if there is a beneficial effect or not. We are confident that within days or a week, you will know if this is working or not as soon as we start.
Well, that sounds very hopeful. Is this therapy meant to complement other forms of therapy?
I think it will definitely be used as a combination therapy. We don't exclude any other therapy as part of the combination therapy with other agents that may help fight this hyperimmune reaction, this pro-inflammatory reaction, and also the problem that you see in microthromboembolism and the coagulation problem that you see in these patients. So I think is in a way is a unique therapy because it's not just for COVID-19, but it's for any virus targeting the lung with this massive reaction. So it will be something that we are planning in the future to create a repository for rapid intervention and integrated response to any pandemic or a situation in which you have an emergency that you need to treat an injury to the lung of such dimension. But in the meantime, when there is not a pandemic situation, you can use these cells. We have trials ongoing that has been authorized by the FDA for type 1 diabetes, for Alzheimer, for kidney disease. So it's a cell type that can be used in many other situations to restore normal organ function, not just in COVID-19.
So just quickly before we wrap up, putting in the simplest possible terms, if this succeeds, how big of a deal is it?
Well, I think if this succeeds, will be a way to treat the severe cases of COVID-19 while we wait for a vaccine, but also to have a repository of cells that will be able to treat any other possible pandemic or epidemic where the lung will be a target of the viral attack. And in this case, you have an army of cells ready to be infused and fight this viral infection and all the consequences that can induce in the lung. So from in the past was SARS, it could be COVID-20 or 21. Hopefully we will not see another pandemic like this, but the chances are that we will.
Dr. Ricordi, thank you so much for joining us today. That's really exciting news. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.